Even among those of us who actively study spiritual philosophies, the core texts of Spiritism are often completely clouded by modern societal myths. So today we're doing something incredibly refreshing. We are doing a spiritual spring cleaning. If you've ever found yourself trying to parse the actual doctrine from all the loud societal noise out there, you are absolutely in the right place for this explainer. We're going to clear out those misconceptions, let in some fresh air, and look directly at the historical texts to understand what Spiritism truly is. We are moving from dusty superstitions toward a really clear, logical reality.
So, what really is Spiritism? Okay, let's dive into this, because the actual answer is entirely different from the societal rumors. It's not about magic, it's not about ghosts jumping out of closets, and it is definitely not what Hollywood portrays. To truly grasp the doctrine, we need a structured approach.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, a spiritual spring cleaning. Second, busting the spooky myths. Third, the beautiful reality. And fourth, faith aligned with reason. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. A spiritual spring cleaning, sweeping away the dust of superstition.
Fundamentally, Spiritism is all about pulling back the curtain to clarify reality. It is not about a group of people hiding in dark, smoky rooms, whispering secret codes, or trying to mystify the world. Actually, it's the exact opposite. It seeks to clarify reality using rational, philosophical inquiry. Simply put, if a practice relies on keeping you in the dark just to seem powerful, well, it is simply not Spiritism.
Section 2. Busting the spooky myths, addressing the rumors with logic.
Okay, so the most common myth out there is that Spiritism is all about the occult or going ghost hunting. I mean, we've all seen those reality TV shows, right? But the reality is that Spiritism seeks to systematically explain the unseen world. Sure, it acknowledges mediumship and spirits, but what we colloquially call ghosts are just a tiny fraction of a much grander, highly organized spiritual reality. It's a profound exploration of life beyond the physical, not a spooky weekend adventure.
Next up is a totally widespread misconception. The myth that Spiritism is pagan, anti-Jesus, or somehow connected to practices like Santeria. But the reality tells a completely different story. Spiritism actually views Jesus as the ultimate model of love and human evolution. He's seen as our greatest teacher. Furthermore, it explicitly rejects misguided practices like animal sacrifice. There is zero connection there. The whole philosophy is entirely built on the moral foundations of love and charity.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how it completely reframes something that honestly terrifies a lot of people. The myth is demon worship. But look at the reality. Spiritism logically explains that so-called demons are not pitchfork-wielding monsters created to be evil forever. No way. They're simply human beings who have passed on but are currently lost, angry, or ignorant. They don't deserve our worship, and they certainly don't deserve our paralyzing fear. They actually deserve our prayers and our help.
To really drive this point home, let's consult the foundational text of Spiritism, compiled by Allan Kardec. In question 131 of the Spirits book, Kardec asks the spirits directly about this exact topic, and the response is just brilliant. It says, if demons existed, they would be the work of God. But would it be just on God's part to have created beings condemned to eternal wrongdoing and misery? Demons don't exist. The text goes on to note that the real demons you should worry about are human hypocrites. People who paint a perfectly just God as cruel and vindictive just to control others. Fascinating, right?
All right, let's tackle one more big myth. The idea that Spiritism is a future-telling magic trick. Sorry to burst the bubble, but there are absolutely no crystal balls here. Foretelling the exact future is practically impossible in Spiritism because it would violate the universal law of free will, not to mention the law of cause and effect. Think of highly evolved spirits more like, financial planners. They can look at your current choices and make highly educated guesses about where you're headed, but they cannot bypass your free will to dictate an absolute future. Your choices always matter.
Section 3. The beautiful reality, a philosophical science of light. Let's ground our understanding in the exact definition written by Allan Kardec himself. Quote, Spiritism is a science which deals with the nature, origin, and destiny of spirits, as well as their relationship with the corporeal world. Listen closely to the specific words used there: science, nature, origin, destiny. That isn't the language of religious superstition, is it? It's the language of a transparent philosophical inquiry into the mechanics of the universe and our specific place within it. So in practice, this acts as a philosophy with religious effects. And what that means is there are no altars, no priests, and absolutely no fancy robes. It doesn't claim to have a monopoly on salvation either.
Instead, it champions the universal truth found across all religions, acknowledging that all paths hold sparks of divine truth tailored to humanity's evolution. And crucially, it is strictly pro bono. Mediums never ever charge money for their faculties.
Which leads us to this really powerful quote, a gospel maxim that grounds the entire Spiritist practice. Freely ye have received, freely give. So the crucial point is this. True Spiritists work normal day jobs just like you and me. They pay their bills through regular work. When they offer spiritual charity or use their mediumship, they do it entirely out of love, completely free of charge. Bottom line, if someone is charging you money to talk to spirits, according to the doctrine, they are simply not practicing true Spiritism.
Section 4. Faith aligned with reason, the ultimate takeaway.
Summarizing these defining traits, you can really see how radically different the reality is from the rumor. Spiritism is completely transparent, not a cult. It is rational, relying heavily on logic rather than future-telling magic tricks. It is inherently charitable, functioning with zero fees. And it's deeply universal, honoring Jesus as the ultimate moral guide while respecting all valid paths to God. It strips away all those ancient superstitions to reveal a universe that is beautifully governed by divine, logical laws. And this brilliantly illustrates our real purpose here. Under the lens of Spiritism, our existence isn't a random accident. And it's definitely not a cruel test. It's a continuous, structured journey. We begin as immortal spirits in a phase of deep learning. We evolve by understanding and aligning with divine laws, laws of cause and effect, laws of love, and ultimately, we are all climbing the ladder of progress together. Nobody is left behind forever. Remember those lost souls we talked about earlier? They're just on a lower rung of the ladder, and it's our job to reach down and help them up.
So what does this all mean for you? Are you ready to climb your own ladder of progress? Knowing that the universe operates on absolute reason, guided by profound love, really takes away the fear, doesn't it? It means every single challenge you face is just an opportunity to climb one rung higher. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, keep asking questions and keep climbing.